So, hello. If you just joined me, I am trying to figure out why some code I wrote is not working. Surprise, surprise. Before the break, I worked on trying to get the service provider stuff that I wrote previously working, and for some reason it's not loading the service provider. I think it has to do with maybe it's not loading the class definition in, because for some reason things are just not working. So this class doesn't exist. Maybe I should try using the full class name and escaping this. This is a comedy of errors, by the way, an absolute comedy of errors. Don't know what's going on. Okay, so the class does exist. That's very interesting. So app add service provider. If we go into the application definition, let's collapse that a bit. Application definition, on construct, it adds these service providers. I think maybe it's not running this because this doesn't provide the routing class, which is pretty weird, right? I mean, if we go here, let's just copy this array and see if it actually needs that in order to, like, even though we're not defining this here, we're just extending this here, maybe it actually needs that definition. Well, it didn't really do anything. That didn't really do anything. Kill 9 that. Which means this is off again. Right collector class. Okay, we're defining that here. So what we want to happen is we want this to go off. In fact, maybe I need to return collector here. Maybe that's what I need to do. As an aside, what we want is this to print and it to exit out here. So maybe let's just do this here just for safety's sake, to make sure that this service provider is actually firing off. No, it's not. It's totally not firing off. That's pretty weird. Okay. I don't really know. Let's go back to application and let's just copy this. Into serve. That's spelled right. And this is proxy to the container because the method doesn't exist on application. And we're saying, okay, take an instance of this service provider. Do I need to? I shouldn't need to. Let me go to application, see how this is defined. This just should accept strings. Yeah, that's just strings. And add service provider just takes a string in. So I shouldn't even need to define that. When we call run, that's when we start to get all this stuff. The write collector is created through this call, through some injector auto wiring. So what's really going on here? What's really going on? It's not printing this out. Despite the class existing, despite this call going off, let's get a little bit simpler with this. Let's say public function add service provider. This container add service provider. Okay, let's start here. Adding. Okay, interesting. And there it just loads it. That's super weird. It just loads, it doesn't add that service provider. That's pretty weird. That's pretty weird. I don't know. What I was trying to do is I was trying to load the index route for this. So trying to create a new index route in a separate module, and this is kind of the goal I'm going for, is to be able to extend the framework, the base framework, within other modules. Because, I mean, you know, that's really basic. But for some reason this isn't firing, even though I can add it, even though this is firing off to the container, by the time it gets here, that's not defined. I mean, if we look here again, app, printer our app and exit. Okay. We have, if we search for admin, that's the config that loads. Oh, I saw something there. I did see an alias there. I'm gonna have a look for it here. That's actually it. This is loading, but for some reason that register code doesn't get called. That's pretty weird, right? Is it because it's loading the route provider in framework as well, and it just can't do the same name? It's a different namespace though, so that shouldn't be a problem. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. Let's close these other files. Those others. Implements bootable service provider interface. Well, I don't really want to do that. Let's try. Implements bootable service provider interface, and that means we need to have a boot method. Boot container get container. What? Actually, when I have that much stuff in there, I just want this to run. Why won't this run? What? What's this error? Route provider contains one abstract method. I don't know. Anyway, the idea is that we load in this custom route, and that we can extend the route collector, so we can add our routes within different applications that just get that reference from the lead container, and start doing more interesting things with it. We've got a cache layer, we've got the ability to load templates and have template inheritance, and this performs relatively fast in testing. Obviously it's not going to perform fast on stream because it's on stream, but actually a significant performance benefit over previous attempts to do this stuff, but in a reusable way. So I guess when I figure out how to get the stuff working, at least why the service provider extension thing isn't working, then it's a good platform on which to build admin. I want to do some models there so that I can create pages, page objects, and I don't know, links to stuff, or like slide deck endpoints or whatever, as you do with, you know, a personal website, and be able to serve this stuff through a REST API. I don't really feel like I've done. Let me go to this view. Hold on. Let me level with you after some juice. I don't really feel like I've had a very productive session, and actually I had a terrible day, a very, very, very terrible day of contributing to open source. So there you go. And to be honest, I actually just wanted to come back after 3 days of not being here, so I didn't drop the habit of streaming. But I don't really feel inspired to do much more streaming at the moment. I kind of just want to take it easy after the day I've had. So I'm probably not going to do much more than this on stream now. I'm sorry, unfortunately. But I'm working on some exciting stuff for the algorithmics videos with Ken and Daniels. So there's going to be a new one soon. and we've kind of decided that I'll stick to the algorithm side of things and she'll stick to the history side of things, because she's really good with that, and I really enjoyed when she talks about that. And I dig, hello the 80s, I really enjoy working on the code examples for the algorithmics, so I'm probably going to do a lot of more fun stuff with that. So that's what I'm working on there. I'm also writing quite a bit of tutorials and stuff, so I hope to be able to tell you about that soon. An interesting thing which I want to mention, because I do a lot of Icicle stuff and usually don't fail at this badly, is that Stephen has been working on some amazing docs for Icicle and is nearing completion with that stuff. So I'm very excited to show you what that looks like when he's happy for me to show you. But it's looking pretty good, which is pretty cool. That was the one thing that I thought was very interesting. A very interesting difference between Eris and Icicle is that even though Eris performs really well and does some really cool things like WebSockets and stuff, and has a much bigger team than Icicle does, because it's basically Aaron and Stephen that do interesting Icicle work, Icicle's docs and examples are actually, I think, in a better position. And my personal preference is I like the API of Icicle better. They're doing, Aaron was telling me earlier, I mean, he expressed the way that I've explained this before, but he was saying that at the moment he's trading, like he's giving up to Eris in terms of performance, or AMPHP in terms of performance, but he's making up for it in terms of the API, and I really agree with him. I think the API for Icicle, in my personal opinion, and I guess his, is that the API is friendlier, and that the performance trade-off isn't as bad, considering that. And we were also talking today about other things that you might want to do to improve the performance there, and he's got some really exciting ideas, which I hope to share with you soon. But anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. Sorry this wasn't as, I guess, meaningful as previous streams, but I kind of had fun. I kind of had fun talking about what I was doing when I wasn't streaming. So maybe that was fun for you, maybe not. If you want to follow the progress of this code, there is an organization on GitHub called RinkPHP, and I'll put it in chat. And basically, you can check out what's going on here. I don't have a lot of code here because I just spent a little bit of time doing it. But what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to work on putting together some reusable code, because I find myself writing a lot of this stuff over and over and over, like how to pass views and how to use a container and how to do routes, and I kind of just want to have a reusable way of doing this, not for anyone else to use, but just for me to be able to reuse. So that's what I'm doing with that. It's not, it's a learning experience, and it's something useful for me. But if you're interested in ways that Icicle is composed into real-world apps, that's a good place to look, because I'm going to keep on putting code there. So keep having a look there. I think what I want to do is I want to go play some Legacy of the Void now. So I'm going to go and play StarCraft, and you can, code if you feel like coding. That seems like a really fun thing to do. Or play some Legacy of the Void if you're interested in that. It just got released, so I'm really excited about that. I'm really excited to play Fallout, but I haven't bought it yet because it's very expensive. And I got Legacy of the Void, so really, that's what I'm doing. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I am certainly going to have a productive weekend. Don't know if it's going to be wonderful yet, but have a wonderful weekend. I'll be back.